Thank you, Chairman. Minister, thank you for returning to the House to deal with this unfortunate state of affairs. Minister, I'm somewhat surprised by the apparent unguarded manner in which you oversaw your ministerial responsibility for the security of the information communication from and to your phone, issued to you by the state as Minister for Foreign Affairs, but more especially as Minister for Defence. As Minister for Defence, you have ministerial and political responsibility for the Defence Forces, one of the two organs of the state directly responsible for state security and state intelligence. Your role as Minister for Defence may well have been more crucial to would-be illegal interceptions of your voice and text communications for a more significant reason. Minister, are you familiar with the Interception of Postal Packages and Telecommunications Messages Act of 1993, which authorised both the Garda Commissioner and the Chief of Staff of the Defence Forces to seek an order from an authorised officer, a judge of the High Court, to intercept postal and electronic messages under Section 6 of the said Act? Can I ask, Minister, was your phone issued to you by the Department of Foreign Affairs, the Department of Defence, or indeed the Defence Forces? If it was issued to you by the Defence Forces, then I believe it would have been an encrypted phone from the Department Defence Forces Communications and Information Systems Corps, as befits the role of a minister overseeing one of the two security and intelligence services of the state. Minister, given your role as Ireland's seat on the United Nations Security Council, did the Communications and Information System issue you with an encrypted phone? Did you request an encrypted phone? If you were not working off an encrypted phone, would you accept that this would be reckless behaviour in the extreme, betraying and compromising state security and the messages from a foreign minister of a country on the United Nations Security Council? This would beggar belief. Minister, I want to ask you straight out, yes or no, did the political gravity of the interceptions on your voice and text messages occur to you at all?
Minister.
Yeah, thank you, Senator, and I know that you understand security issues well. My phone has been the phone that I use has been issued to me by the Department of Foreign Affairs. I am cautious about the use of that phone because the phone has been compromised. It's a matter of public record and was featured in the media last year that in August 2020 I was subject to a phishing attack via the Telegram messaging app on my mobile phone. Using credentials created on this platform, my identity was used to contact.
All right, Minister,
several foreign.
That's fine. We don't need to go into great detail on this.
I would like to answer your question, Deputy.
Was the phone encrypted?
Senator Craughwell, please, you've asked a number of very important questions that haven't been asked before, and in fairness, I think we should give the Minister an opportunity to reply.
Sorry, you asked me whether I was aware of the political consequences of that, and I was. And officials in the Department of Foreign Affairs and the Department of Defence determined that this incident fell in into the realm of a cyber attack and made the appropriate notifications to Garda Síochána, and I handed my phone over to Síochána at that point, and the National Cybersecurity Centre, where I took extensive advice from the head of the National Cybersecurity Centre in relation to that incident. I would remind deputies, though, that security relating to mobile phones in the context of foreign ministers or indeed prime ministers is an issue that most people would be aware of. It's no secret, for example, that Chancellor Merkel would have had her phone hacked as Chancellor of Germany. So, you know, unfortunately, in the world we live in today, despite security arrangements, there are some who will look to try to hack people's phones and access information. And so I'm cautious as a result, which is why I don't hold on to data unnecessarily on my phone.
Thank you, Senator Craughwell.
Okay, Minister. Thank you for that. Minister, once you became aware of the, I suppose, interception of your phone, whether it was number spoofing or an actual hacking, I'm not sure. I'm asking you straight out, yes or no answer. Was the Director of Intelligence and the Defence Forces Communications and Information System Corps, the Director of that Corps, were they both advised of the hacking or number spoofing that took place? A simple yes or no.
Yes.
Okay. Minister, I want now to turn to the role of the Department of Public Expenditure and Reform. I want to know, when you first contacted Minister McGrath about the costs of the special envoy, you or your department, the role that envoy would have, the salary, what type of travel arrangements would the envoy have? Could they travel anywhere in the world at any time they wanted? Would they be fully expensed and paid for the days that they would travel? Because the 15,000 figure that's been quoted to me sounds very, very low. I'll continue on if I may, because this is all in the same vein.
I'll remind the Senator that the Minister is the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Defence. He's not the Minister for Public Expenditure. And there may be issues that you're asking that are not within the competence of the Minister to respond.
Any expenditure on behalf of the state has to be approved by Public Expenditure and Reform. So, I mean, I need to know when Public Expenditure and Reform were contacted, because there is a number of dates being thrown around here, and we're not sure exactly who.
I'll happily answer that, Deputy.
Okay.
Or Senator, Chair. So, in relation to the Department of Public Expenditure, my department did not seek sanction for the position from the Department of Public Expenditure and Reform in relation to this position. My department has a pay and staffing sanction from the Department of Public Expenditure and Reform that did not require additional approval for this post. Having said that, my department did make contact, I think it was the day before the Cabinet meeting, to seek clarification in relation to a pension issue, as far as I'm aware. But I can ask my current SecGen Joe Hackett, if he'd like to comment briefly on that issue.
Thank you.
Just before he does, can I come back in, Minister, because what I'm going to ask next.
But only in relation to an issue that's going to be addressed.
In terms of things like travel arrangements and so on, I asked my former SecGen to negotiate with Catherine Zappone and to outline to her what it was involved in the position. And if it's helpful, I can ask him to talk you through that. But it's certainly nothing unusual. We use the precedent of another special envoy who's in the department, the special envoy for Francophone Africa, in terms of some of those terms and conditions.
Okay, they can deal with that in a moment.
Were you
aware of the potential impact of pension abatement on Ms. Zappone? Did you discuss pension abatement with the Minister for Public Expenditure and Reform? Did you or Ms. Zappone seek a waiver of pension abatement with respect to this role? Can you clarify that for me, please?
Minister?
The answer is no to all of those questions.
Okay. Minister, you spoke a little while ago about the cooling off period. You have been in public office for 20 years. You clearly would be aware of the cooling off period that applies to particularly people who have ministerial posts. I'm rather surprised that you were discussing an appointment within that 12-month period with a former minister who must surely have been aware of the situation as well. Have you anything more that you want to say about that?
I don't, except to say that a cooling off period only applies if there's a conflict of interest, and I didn't see a conflict of interest.
Thank you. Moving on.
Okay, I'm out of time. Okay,
thank you, Senator Craughwell.